A quick pros and cons video of the 2024 Toyota Tundra, but make sure to stay until the end where I'm going to share with you how you can save up to $12,000 off the MSRP of these new Tundras and even lease these vehicles for around the $500 to $600 a month range. But for right now, let's start out with the first pro, and that is going to be the much improved driving dynamics for this new generation of Tundra. I was a big fan of the previous generation and how comfortable the truck was. However, it was very sloppy in the corners. Here with this new generation Tundra, they have really buttoned up the everyday handling. So when you take your long sweeping corners or your everyday left-hand, right-hand turns, this truck remains really composed, and your occupants, they're not flipping and flopping all over the place. So handling is certainly the first pro. Now the new twin turbo V6 along with the 10-speed automatic transmission, this is going to be both a pro and a con. The pro is going to be, this is very quick. In fact, this is much quicker than the NA V8s in this segment. This vehicle just surges off with just half throttle and you are easily passing people. So I love the thrust and the speed of this engine, and with all of the fake engine noises that they have pumped in through the cabin, the vehicle actually sounds amazing when you sit inside of it. It makes a satisfactory noise. Again, it's all fake, but the Toyota engineers, they did a good job with it, so I don't really mind. And the 10-speed does shift smoothly. However, the cons with this powertrain is going to be you do get quite a bit of turbo lag. Not all the time, but occasionally, especially from a stop. That's what I've noticed. Now the other subtle con is going to be the fuel economy. You would think that downsizing these engines would mean you get much superior fuel economy, but in the real world you maybe get 1 or 2 mpg better compared to the tried and true 5.7 liter V8. But Toyota does say that you can use 87 octane fuel with these twin turbo engines, and there is also a hybrid which you can look into, but it doesn't necessarily get superior fuel economy. That hybrid really exists to give you a more powerful Tundra, a more capable Tundra. The hybrid makes 437 horsepower and 583 pounds-feet of torque, but really the twin turbo V6 is just fine at 389 horsepower and 479 pounds-feet of torque. Again, it moves effortlessly. I'm going to say that the interior space is also a pro and a con. So the pro regarding the interior space is going to be, it looks amazing. I love the layout. And if you opt for the 14-inch touchscreen, I do really appreciate the way they have that massive screen implemented into the dash. But yeah, the interior, it just has a lot of character, and the new seats, they look good and they are far more comfortable than what it was before in the previous generation Tundra. So you can really do a lot of miles with these seats. So that is great. Now, some of the cons regarding this interior, that's going to be the rear seat legroom. Even with the crew cab, it seems to be a bit lacking compared to the previous generations and even with the current competitors. I don't know what happened with this new generation Tundra, but it just feels like a more constricted space in the back. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can still be a fully grown adult and fit comfortably, but if you're really tall, like 6'3" and up, you just don't have the same level of lavish space that you once had with the previous truck. And if you get things like the pano sunroof, your headroom now becomes more restricted. So it's just things to keep in mind with this new Tundra. And the other thing, this was mainly an issue with the first model year of the Tundra, but 2023 and up, this was kind of remedied. The interior space, I know I said it looks nice, but it doesn't quite feel that nice. Some of the materials feel a bit more chintzy when you press up against them. But again, for 2023 and up, the solidity of the cabin seems to have improved, so I'm glad to see that. And one of the biggest pros for this new generation Tundra is going to be, this is genuinely one of the safest full-size pickup trucks on sale. This is a IIHS top safety pick. The previous generation Tundra was awful in a crash test. This is a huge improvement, and all of the Toyota safety tech, that works great. But the classic con that everyone wants to hear about is the quote-unquote reliability, right? People think that this is a disaster to own, and if you just drive it off the lot, like the engine is going to blow up on them. all sorts of things. And it's not like we can deny some of the stories. People have had issues, but at the same time, nobody bats an eyelid when the Ford transmissions are literally just taking a dump. Same thing with these Stellantis and Chevrolet issues. Nobody bats an eyelid to that. But what I've noticed regarding these Tundras is most of the issues, that was primarily with the 2022 model year. When you go on the NHTSA.gov website, you can see the ownership complaints, and you can also see the manufacturer TSBs, or the technical service bulletins. These are issues that the manufacturer themselves find with their own product, and most of the insane engine debris and the other drivetrain issues that happened with 2022, and it kind of carried into 2023. And then for 2024, when you do research on that particular model year, there's not really any crazy issues. In fact, the recalls have subsided, and we only have some frivolous little recalls to worry about, one of which is like a sticker that's not properly labeled. And you have far less complaints from owners, and even the 2025 Tundra has now been released. So it seems like they have really ironed out the issues over the years. And that's the other thing. What I appreciate about Toyota is the company and even the dealerships, they are actually willing to take care of the customers and to take care of the issues. Our family also had a Ram 1500, and anytime we had issues with that particular truck, the dealerships were just so incompetent and unable to either fix the issue or even to replicate the issue. And from what I've heard, a lot of the Ford and even the Chevy dealerships, they're not particularly fantastic to work with either. Just a lot of incompetency with some of these other vehicles. Whereas with Toyota, I just feel like their dealer centers, they're able to service these vehicles a lot better when warranty issues arise. Plus, this new truck is just such a pleasure to drive that I would consider definitely leasing the new Tundra. That would be my preference if I had to get a full-size truck today, to enjoy the creature comforts, a nice looking interior space, and also another pro I forgot to mention is the new JBL audio system in these new Tundras. It's genuinely amazing. It's really well tuned, and it's easily one of the best audio systems in a full-size pickup truck. But yeah, really it's the power and the decent handling that I appreciate, and if you get the right trim level, like an SR5 with the TRD off-road package and the 18-inch wheels, it rides pretty well. But even if you went with the limited, as long as you got the TRD off-road package, even with the 20-inch wheels, that should be okay, and that way you can enjoy the 14-inch display and that JBL audio system that I spoke of. But as promised at the beginning of this video, here's how you can save up to $12,000 off the MSRP of a 2024 Tundra. You can reach out to a broker named Jim. Jim is one of the largest Toyota brokers in the United States. He has partnered dealerships both in Pennsylvania and in California, and he is also able to offer nationwide shipping. But shipping is obviously something you have to pay extra for, and we did actually purchase our previous generation Tundra from Jim, but that was back in the day when those previous Tundras and even the Tacomas were leasing for like $200 to $300 a month. Yeah, those were the glory days. But anyway, that's the past. Now today, depending on the trim level, you can get up to 12 grand off the MSRP, like on a Platinum or on certain 1794 models. But if you went with like a SR5 or a well-equipped limited trim level, kind of like what I recommended, which stickers for about $60,000 to $63,000, you can get about $8,000 off the MSRP on a model like that. And the lease payment is genuinely amazing, especially for September of 2024. The interest rates have gone down on the lease, and a $63,000 MSRP vehicle leased out for $625 a month with all the taxes and fees included. Now, Jim also has access to Toyota Financial Services, which is the best Toyota bank. If you're in the Southeast, you get Southeast Toyota Financial. So places like North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Atlanta, all these places, they are financed or leased through Southeast Toyota Financial. That bank sucks. Toyota Financial is far superior, and Jim has access to that bank. So people like me who are located in North Carolina, I can buy from Jim, get the vehicle leased through TFS and enjoy the lower interest rates and the lower payments. But there's even one step further that you can go with this. You can drop the interest rate of these Toyota Tundra leases further by putting down multiple security deposits, or MSDs. This is like a refundable deposit that you get back either at the end of the lease or if you decide to sell the vehicle before your lease ends. And that's actually something you can only do with TFS. You can't do that with Southeast Toyota Financial. You are not able to break the lease early, but with TFS, you can. And if you put down that refundable deposit, you can actually bring the payment down from $625 to $540 a month. Again, on a $63,000 MSRP truck. So you know how everyone makes those gloom and doom videos about how expensive everything is and how unobtainable these trucks have gotten? Yeah, those people, they never show you this information, this practical information that makes these vehicles obtainable and doable. This is a well-equipped full-size pickup truck that we're talking about that can be used for business purposes, for family use. It's new, under full warranty, safe, and to get something of this caliber for like $500 to $600 a month, and you can keep it until the end of the lease and even have equity left over for the most part, is incredible. But instead, those other content creators, they won't tell you about this. They just continue to make this low vibrational content, and it doesn't even help anyone. They never provide solutions like this. So hopefully you appreciate this. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to work with Jim, he just has a phone number and you simply text him the vehicle that you want, but make sure to include your zip code, the vehicle you want, and your approximate credit score to make things go faster. And also, Jim does charge a broker fee, of course, to access his amazing deals and discounts. But if you text him and if you mention Meyn Motor Group, he will take $50 off of his broker fee. And yes, you are supporting me and my channel if you do reach out to Jim, and when you mention my name, I do get compensated for it. So if you hate hearing that, I don't know what to tell you, but this is the only way for me to present to you some of the best Toyota pricing in the United States. I could make those same doom and gloom videos, but I choose not to. I would rather help my audience to get the vehicle that they want at a substantial discount and deal. So again, I will leave Jim's information in the description box, and of course I will have it on the screen for you. It's primarily his page on the Leasehackr forum, so you can check that out as well. But thank you again for watching this video. Take care and goodbye.